Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Town of Islip Zoning Board of Appeals. We'll start by reading the public notice. Notice hereby given that due to the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic and recent executive orders issued by the governor and the Town of Islip Zoning Board of Appeals, hearing scheduled for Tuesday, January 19th of 2021 at 6 p.m. will be held electronically via Zoom webinar instead of an in-person public hearing, which streamed live over the internet. Dated 1/8/2021, John M. Lorenzo, Chairman. First application tonight is number 027-21, Milagros D. Medina Gomez, Jairo Reyes Medina, and Rigoberto D. Reyes Medina. Permission to establish accessory apartment pursuant to isotown code section 68-602 and to leave a driveway on the side property line not having required setback of 4 feet. Residence A District, west side of Yankee Street, number 90. 158.68 feet south of Wiley Street, Brentwood, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Trella. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Roxanne Trella, Dynamic Expediting with offices at 1040 Terry Road, Ronkonkoma, New York. And we're looking to establish an accessory apartment. The home is owner occupied. The apartment is 479 square feet. And we're also here for driveway approval. It is on the property line instead of the 4 feet required.
All righty. Mayor, everything in order with
Everything's in
the
order.
driveway?
Yep, driveway's been approved.
All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Nicole, I'll take a motion.
Motion to grant the application for a period of 3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Application granted.
Thank you.
Next application number 028-21, Evelyn Diaz. Permission to establish accessory apartment pursuant to isotown code section 68-602 to leave driveway on side property line instead of required 4 feet and to leave 2 sheds on side property line having 2 feet and 12.3 feet behind the front line of the dwelling instead of the required 20 feet each. Residence B District, east side of Gibson Avenue, number 177, 450 feet north of Medford Street, Brentwood. Anyone here for the applicant?
Good evening again. Roxanne Trella, Dynamic Expediting with offices at 1040 Terry Road, Ronkonkoma, New York.
Good evening.
Good evening. We're here again to establish an accessory apartment. The home is owner occupied. The apartment is 550 square feet. And again, we're also looking for variance for the driveway being on the side property line instead of the 4 feet required. And then we have 2 small sheds. They're both the same size, about 64 square feet each. And they are behind the fence. There is a 6-foot fence across the front line of the dwelling, and you're unable to see these sheds from the front of the house.
How long have they been up?
They've been up for, he's only on the property for a couple of years. He said at least 5 or 6 years they've been there.
Oh, you know that they changed that part of the code, right? For the 20 feet. Are they willing to remove them or move them back?
We can try to move them. I'm just afraid that they're pretty old, like they look very old. And I think that if they were to be removed, I'm not sure that they would make it. And I was hoping that we could do maybe just for the life of these sheds. And if they were to erect new ones, that they would put them in a compliant location.
Have we, Mr. Chairman, have we ever done life of the shed?
No, I don't know of it anyway, to be honest with you. I don't know that.
Just live forever.
They have plenty of room.
These
to move
will.
them.
Yeah, Ms.
Don't
Trella,
they have-
I think you're right, Wex. I agree with you 100%. Ms. Trella, is there, I think the board's going to vote, as you know, but I think that possibly they're going to have to move those sheds back to 20 feet behind the front line.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Nicole, I'll take a motion. I can't see him, so can you hear?
It's a struggle for me to hear what's going on right now with the connection. Are we doing life for the shed?
No.
No, we're not. You want me to have someone
Motion
else?
to grant the application.
Do you want me to have someone else?
Yeah, I can barely hear. I have to figure out my connection thing.
Mr. Messina, take a motion.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. I would make a motion that we deny that portion of the application to leave 2 sheds on the side property line, having 2 feet and 12.3 feet behind the front line, and grant the rest of the application, namely the accessory apartment, for a period of 4 years. And that-
Second.
3 years.
3 years. I'm sorry, I was reading the driveway and not at 4. I apologize. Too simple.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
All right, application granted and denied. Both.
there we go.
Thanks.
Next application has been adjourned from December 15th, 2020, number 732-20, Ralph and Kim Marie Migliori. Permission to leave pool patio having side yards of 3 feet and 5 feet instead of required 6 feet each, rear yard occupancy of 71% instead of the permitted 30%, and to leave the retaining wall 34 inches high, having a side yard of 1/2 of a foot instead of the required 4 feet. Residence A District, west side of Tallulah Lane, number 102, 737.62 feet southwest of Wagstaff Lane in West Islip. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Good evening again. Roxanne Trella, Dynamic Expediting with offices at 1040 Terry Road, Ronkonkoma, New York.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, so we're here mostly for the pool patio. It does have a side yard of 3 and 5 instead of the required 6, but I think the bigger issue is that it does cover a big portion of the yard. It was calculated at 71%. I have been going back and forth with planning and zoning for quite some time to try and find some kind of similar situation in the area. So in looking at all of the aerials and all of the homes along that canal and the canal that's about a block over, pretty much every house, or at least every other house, has the exact same situation where they have installed pavers and some kind of a retaining wall because they're on the canal to protect them from the water. The issue that we're having is that a lot of these homes did so without the benefit of coming to the board and seeking a variance. They just went ahead and did it. We were only able to find 3 of the houses. I sent planning 26 specific houses that had the exact same scenario. And out of those 26, only 3 of them had prior grants or even came to before the board. One of them was at 43%, one was at 39.2, and the other was at 48%. So that's where we are as far as precedent in the area, but as far as it being within the character and nature of the neighborhood, if you do take a look at the aerial, it's pretty much almost every single house on the canal has this exact scenario.
So, Ms. Trella, even if we were so kind to say, all right, there's a 48% in the area, you're asking for 71. That's obviously quite a bit of a difference, right?
Yes.
So are they willing to get down to where the town needs them to be? They're gonna probably have to. I don't see any other way around it.
Willing or not.
Yeah.
After I said it, I was like,
What is our standard? What do we get, 40%?
We gave 48, I think, is the
Yeah,
the
but
highest.
I think that's a one-off. I bet there's nothing.
Well,
even
no,
close.
there's the smallest one was 39, so it's between 39 and 48.
yeah.
I mean,
But-
again, give it. I don't know. I guess
I would be comfortable at 40% because I don't think, is there anything that's greater than 42?
There is one 43%.
So we have a 43 and a 48.
correct.
Why don't we meet in the middle, 45?
Look at you.
I hate to see us erode. That's what we're going to do when we know West Islip. I hate to see us erode that what we generally hold. I don't know. We don't know the circumstances surrounding the 43 and the 48.
You want to take a look at them, Mr. Wexler? We could do that.
I think we should. I mean, to be fair,
I agree with you, Mr. Wex. I just don't know if I don't. In my opinion, I 43, 45, 40. Like we're right
All
around.
right.
where we
know
got to
it's-
be on it. So why don't we just figure it, what number we all agree on and throw it out to them and go. I think, I'm sure everyone was going to want to move on from the application and stuff. So were you guys okay with figuring out a
Yeah.
number that we're
Yeah,
comfortable with?
that works. I mean, I would say 43 unless I'm talked out of it.
What is the rest of the
Or
board feel?
talked into something else.
Correct.
How do we feel otherwise, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen?
I'm fine with that reduced amount, with the reduced amount.
I'm fine as well.
So Ms. Trella, 43%, they're going to have to keep it to. However they get there, they get there.
We went with 43, not 45.
That's
We
right.
did.
See that? Blink your eyes again and you'll be down to 41.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, if that's what the board is willing to grant, I think he doesn't have much of a choice. I
Yes.
do understand that there is only these three precedent, but like I said, if you look at the aerial, every single house abutting these two canals has a full yard of pavers.
Right, but that argument is that it's nature and character because everyone is flouting the zoning ordinance, and that's not something I don't think that we're prepared to accept. That, Mr. Wexler, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, and we'll get to those in due time, those others.
Yeah, they'll need us
No,
sooner
no,
or
no,
later.
I don't want to get anybody else in trouble.
No. It's just they're going to need to refinance, or they're going to need to sell, or they're going to need to, and they all eventually have to come in or comply.
Yeah.
Just outright comply.
Okay.
All right.
Eric, good thought.
Kudos to your client for doing the right thing and coming in.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Wex, I'll take a motion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we grant so much of the application as to leave the pool patio and deny that much of the application, seeking 71% for rear yard ratio, but very graciously grant 43%. And also to leave the retaining wall.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I'll graciously
Aye.
second.
My favorite zoning board, so gracious.
There you
Have
go.
a great night, Ms. Trell. Have
They
a great
often say that about Mr. Wexler and I, that we're gracious.
Yeah. Maybe you, Vinny.
No,
Have a
not
great
on
night,
your
guys.
life, Mr. Wexler, not on your life.
I've been
Have a
advised
great night.
otherwise, but that's another story.
All right. Have a good night,
great
Ms.
night.
Trella.
Thank you.
You too.
Yep.
Take care.
Next application number 029-21, James and Zachary Von F. Permission to leave a one-story addition 14 feet by 17.8 feet, having a side yard of 13.8 feet instead of the required 14 feet, and a patio on the side property line not having a required setback of 4 feet, Residence A District, west side of Indian Head Drive, number 83, 330 feet north of Papoose Lane, Sayville. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
He's here. Let's see, maybe we have
Said
to.
you had 100% attendance, Ms.
Well, he's
Pissarro.
here. He's here. I just moved him in.
Ah.
I don't see him in the panelists list. Where'd he go?
See him, Mary. He's here.
Okay, microphone seems.
There you go. Yeah,
Good evening.
Hello, how you doing?
excellent. How are you?
Name
I'm
and address
good.
for the record, please.
James Lonnie.
Just an address, please, sir.
Oh, 83 Indian Head Drive.
Great. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
So
It's
you
your
have
first
a-
Zoom appearance, sir. You seem excited by it.
So you have an extension, one-story addition that's a little bit too close, 13.8 instead of 14, and patio on side property line, all seems de minimis. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night. That's a great beard. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And it's a great premiere on Zoom. So you couldn't have done better, man.
You have a great night.
Next application, number 030-21, Tracy Lynn Patron. Permission to leave in-ground pool having a rear yard of 13 feet instead of the required 14 feet, and a shed having a rear yard of 0.7 feet instead of the required 2 feet. Residence A District, southwest corner of Devon Place and Secatog Lane, West Islip. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I
We can hear you.
can. Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Christine Fay, Accurate Expediting 286A, Belmont Avenue, West Babylon. I showered and put on makeup for this hearing tonight.
Well,
Favorite board, my favorite.
well, because we're gracious, I hear.
You are. You guys are great. Hi, everybody. Happy New
Vinny
Year.
showered and put on makeup too for this meeting, so
And my high heels, Mr. Wexler.
I didn't want to go there.
So first off, I'd like to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And so we have Dakota Pools. We have a permit for a pool. And upon the final survey, the pool was 1 foot off. We have a shed existing and we're seeking a variance on both.
All right. Mr. Minimus, does anyone wish to be heard in this application?
Yes. Let me.
I think his name is Pete.
So Mr. Davis and Mr. McGloin are both in here, right?
Mm,
They need to unmute themselves.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Good evening.
good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, it's Peter McGloin. The address is 512 Devon Place in West Islip.
How are you tonight?
Good, and
Just get a
yourself?
spelling of that last name because it's not all clear.
Sure. McGloin.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. McGloin, state your case.
Pardon me?
Whatever I'm assuming you'd like to state something regarding this application?
No. I just wanted to see how everything was going. That's all.
Oh, all right.
I spoke to him. He's fine.
So you
We're
don't
all
have
doing
any-
well, thank you.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
So you don't have anything to say for or against this application?
No, I do not.
Okay, great. Anyone else wish to be heard in this application?
yes, sir. John Davis.
Good evening, Mr.
Davis. How are you?
Name is John Davis, President Willets Point Association, P.O. Box 55, West Islip. We have several other shed variances in the area that are more extreme than this one. And as far as the pool, I don't think that's an issue. I did speak with Mr. McGloin that was just on a moment ago. He and his wife said they had no objection to this, and they're the only neighbors that are close to it. So certainly, from our standpoint, there's no problem with this application at all.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Davis, for your support.
Sure thing.
Does anyone else wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wexler, I'll take a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you,
Application granted. Have a great night.
Thank you. See you again in the future.
All right. Ciao.
Next application number 031-21, Douglas and Kathleen Williamson, permission to erect a 1- and 2-story additions, approximately 10.6 feet by 24.8 feet, leaving a rear yard of 28 feet instead of the required 40 feet. Residence AAA District, west side of South Connecticut Avenue, number 18, 275 feet south of Montauk Highway, Bay Shore, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes, good evening, John Bracco for the applicant. How are you all doing?
Good evening, Mr. Bracco.
Hi.
Name and address,
Okay.
for the record, please.
Sure. John Bracco, architect, address at 111 Railroad Avenue, Sayville, New York, 11782.
Okay.
I'm here this evening on behalf of the applicants, Douglas and Kathleen Williamson. The existing home, which dates back to 1875, is currently 28 feet from the rear property line. However, the rear yard setback requirement in the AAA zone is now 40 feet, and that is why we are before you this evening. The applicant is proposing a rear 2-story addition that would simply square off the back of the house and not get any closer to the rear property line than the house already is. Lastly, I just wanted to point out that there is not a residential parcel with a house on it behind them. It is basically a parking lot for a commercial business on Main Street, as well as a tiny unbuildable landlocked parcel. So it's not really affecting anyone to the rear. And if you have any questions on it, be more than happy to answer.
Great. Can we just see the, that's a great beard too. Everyone's got the beards going on.
Yeah. Well, I heard you like that other guy so much, I just grew one real quick.
That's
You know, and I just trimmed mine. For gosh sakes, I'm always on the wrong side of the trend.
I am follically challenged, as you can tell, so I can't grow a beard like that. But do we have? Is that the aerial, Deirdre? I can't.
Yeah.
Right
No.
there? That's not it, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at a different aerial. Yeah, that's not us.
I'm having a little trouble with the address.
All right, it backs up. It does back up to it's holding the same as the CO'd house, right? You're just
Right.
squaring it straight off. You said, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Correct. All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Nicolia, can you hear us now? Are you back in?
Yes, I'm much better. Motion to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Application granted.
Next application number 032-21, Susan Woods. Permission to erect a one-story addition, 18.5 feet by 30.4 feet, leaving a side yard of 10 feet instead of the required 14 feet, and a floor area ratio of 29.72% instead of the permitted 25%. Residence B District, east side of North Bayport Avenue, number 447, 120 feet south of Coulter Street, Bayport, New York. Mr. Bracco, you're up again, sir.
Yes, John Bracco, 111 Railroad Avenue, Sayville, New York. John Bracco, architect for the applicant Susan Woods. We're here before you tonight in regards to a proposed one-story attached garage addition to the existing home. The garage addition we are proposing will leave a side yard setback of 10 feet. The property is located in a B residential zone, which, if my memory serves, used to allow a side yard setback of 10 feet, but now has a 14-foot side yard requirement. 10-foot side yard setbacks are not uncommon to this neighborhood. Across the street on Bayport Avenue, house numbers 414, 428, 432, and 440 all appear to have 10-foot side yards, as well as numbers 76 and 80 on Barrett Avenue, which is directly behind them. In regards to the FAR, I know the zoning board has looked favorably in the past on applications with an FAR under 30%. So we made sure to keep the proposed garage to a size that would not exceed an overall FAR of 30%. We're at 29.72. And if the board has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
You read off, maybe I just didn't catch it. You read off a series of 10-foot side yards.
Yes.
I didn't hear, were those grants by the board?
I'm not aware whether or not they were grants. I just kind of did a study based on the aerial view.
It may have been as of rights, depending upon the age of the structure and when the zoning ordinance was amended.
Right.
So do you know if there are any grants of any variances in that neighborhood?
I'm not aware of any of them, of any actual grants, just of the other homes that had the 10-foot setbacks.
And the 10-foot setback, you kind of spitballed that by looking at aerials?
Yeah, I looked at aerials. I drove down the street as well. I can usually do it by the fences, and I have a pretty good eye on dimensions, having done this for 30 years.
Ms. Ryan, do you have any precedents for Mr. Wexler?
The closest precedent is a side yard of 10.33, and then from there, there's a 10.5 and a 10.6.
Okay, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Application granted, sir. Have a great night.
You too, guys. Be well.
Thank you. Next application number 033-21, Joseph and Heather A. Trifoletti. Permission to erect a two-story addition, 7.2 feet by 11.8 feet, leaving a front yard 34.1 feet, and roofed over porch, leaving a front yard of 36.6 feet instead of the required 40 feet each, and to erect a two-story addition, 12.2 feet by 34.1 feet irregular, all having a floor area ratio of 30.6% instead of permitted 25%. Residence A District, west side of Bayview Avenue, number 150, 662.21 feet north of Harriet Road, Bayport. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
I'm here, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Good evening, Amy. How are you?
Good, how are you? Amy DeVito, Woodhull Expediting with offices at 1031 Main Street, Port Jefferson, New York. How is everybody? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, my client is proposing to erect two-story additions, one in the front and one in the rear. The addition in the front of the home will enlarge the bedrooms. This is a split ranch. I actually sent Deirdre the existing and proposed floor plan and elevations for the board to take a look at if you have any questions, but this is a split ranch. So the bedrooms are actually located in the front of the home. The front addition will enlarge the bedrooms slightly and will also create a roofed over front porch, much like what already exists, but it will just be bumped out about 2.5 feet. The rear addition is to enlarge the family room and part of the lower level. So that will create a larger family room and then a larger recreation in what I would call the basement. And I did speak with Deirdre earlier today, and I know that we did, she did come across a couple of similar cases for setbacks. But we were unable to, Deirdre and myself in research, were unable to find a precedent for anything higher than 30% for the FAR. We're at 30.6 right now, and we could definitely tweak our plan to accommodate the 0.6% if required. And I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
So you're willing to go down to 30%? We, as you know, we always try and cap it at 30% when 25 is permitted.
Yes, I do. And my client would be willing to do that. Yes.
All right. And what is the, I can't see on this older survey what the house holds now, front yard
The house
setback.
currently holds 41.2 to the edge of the house. And let's see, I'm sorry, 39.7.
39.7 right there. Okay. And you're gonna go over that roofed over wood, I guess, decking or patio, and that's where the extension is gonna go out and up, right?
Yes, the extension is actually not going to encroach any more than that little roofed over, or portico, I would call it. It's actually not going to go out any further than that existing structure.
Okay. And Deirdre, planning have any thing to say?
No objections for the front yard. There's a lot of precedent for front yards around 31 feet instead of 40. And like she mentioned, the highest I could find for FARs granted was 30%.
Are you offended by a 30.6% FAR?
Not really, but
Okay.
I don't want to start pushing or anyone.
No one's asking you to push. I just asked if you were offended by it. You said no. That's the answer. We may not want to do it, but you know.
Yeah. All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the application.
Second.
Well, it's not. We're not really.
We're granting the application is the motion, Mr. Chairman.
I understand that, but didn't we knock the FAR down to 30 instead of 30.6?
Mr. Sullivan and I are okay at 30.6. I don't know.
I like 30%. In fact, it was music to my ears when Ms. DeVito said, quote, she couldn't find any precedent.
And also,
30%.
she said she could do it, which kind of obviates one of the factors of 267.
And you call yourself gracious, Mr. Wexler. I don't know.
I am trying to stay within the grace and say that we will do our.
Yeah. Ms. DeVito, next time, don't.
30%.
Next time, don't say that, Ms. DeVito. I could have gotten you 30.6. All
right. Well, let's.
Is the motion amended to 30%? Is that it, Mr. Sullivan?
I will amend my motion to grant the application at 30% FAR.
And I'll second your amended motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
This close, Mr. Vito, this close. Next application number 034-21. Richard A. Mazza Sr. and Richard A. Mazza Jr. Permission to leave a shed having a side yard of 2 feet instead of the required 4 feet. Residence A District, south side of Judith Place, number 24, 375 feet west of Campbell Lane, East Islip. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
He's here. He's a novice. Let's see how he's doing.
So am I, Ms. Becerra. So am I.
Can everybody hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear
sir.
Okay, can you see me?
you. I can't see it yet, but I'm sure.
Okay, because I didn't take a shower like everybody else.
We can hear you. You sound good.
Okay, good.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Richard Mazza, 24 Judith Place in East Islip, New York, 11730.
Great. You have a shed a little bit too close. We see them probably every week that we're meeting as a board, and we grant them regularly. So if you have nothing else to say, I'm going to take a motion.
That'll be great. Thank you, guys.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? As the board have any questions? Mr. Wex, I'll take a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Application granted. Have a great night.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Next application number 035-21, Raymond C. and Christine Martin, permission to leave pool patio side yard, having a side yard of 3 feet instead of the required 6 feet. Residence B District, east side of Division Street, number 947, 453.82 feet north, Church Street in Bayport. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
I see it, Christine Martin. She's muted though. Nope, there she is. Hi, how are you?
You'd think being a teacher, I would know how to unmute myself. I don't.
You probably say it all day long. Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself.
Name and address for the record.
Christine Martin and Raymond Martin, 947 Division Street, Bayport, 11705.
Great. How you guys tonight? Good?
Good, how are you?
Good. Looks like you have a little curve on your fire pit patio or on the pool in the back that's a little bit too close.
Yeah.
It's just that little part. Seems de minimis to me. I'm going to make a motion and take a vote. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Application granted. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Next application number 036-21, Gary and Linda DeRosa, permission to leave a pool patio having a rear yard of 5 feet instead of the required 6 feet, resulting in rear yard landscaping of 37.49% instead of the required 40%, and to leave a shed having a second front yard of 17 feet instead of the required 20 feet. Residence B District, northwest corner of North Ontario Street, number 191 and Canoe Place, Ronkonkoma. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes, Gary and Linda DeRosa, 191 North Ontario Street, Ronkonkoma.
How are you tonight, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. You have a pool patio that one portion of it's a little bit too close to the rear yard.
Yes,
You have some rear landscaping. Resulting in rear yard landscaping 37 point instead of required 40. And you have a shed. How long has the shed been up?
the shed's been up a few years. It was moved when we put the pool in, and I thought that was within the code, not realizing the side there needs a 20-foot offset.
All right, it's behind the house. Deirdre, what's planning's opinion on the rear yard landscaping?
No objections to it. It's around 3% off of what's required, so I don't think it's too big of a big deal. So no objections.
The shed, no objection with the shed too. Second front yard, it's 17 instead of 20.
Yep, it's very close. It looks like a small shed. I believe it's behind a fence as well, so.
All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Application granted. Have a great night,
So
sir.
have a good evening.
Next application number 037-21. Martin J. Shepherd Jr. and Ann Shepherd, permission to relocate shed to side property line not having a required setback of 2 feet and to leave a shed not having 20 feet behind the front line of the dwelling. Residence A District, north side of Middlesex Avenue, number 105, 199.72 feet east of Hollywood Drive, Oakdale. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. Name and address to the record, please.
Ann Shepherd, 105 Middlesex Avenue in Oakdale.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Doing well. You have a shed that's encroaching off your property line. You're seeking permission to move it back on the property line. not having a required setback of 2 feet. What about that other shed? It says plastic shed on wood platform. That the code ordinance says it has to be 20 feet behind the front line of the dwelling. It's in front of your house.
Yes, well, we have, the pool is in the backyard and we were trying, that's where we keep, we house our garbage cans. And we keep it locked in a shed because we try to keep the animals from getting into it. So we put it further away from our pool because the animals, we have a lot of raccoons and stuff in the area.
How tall is it, ma'am?
I believe it's 3 feet.
It's hardly a shed, Mr. Chairman. It's really
Right.
just
Oh,
an
I
enclosure.
didn't see that. I lost my
Yeah.
eyesight in like about 2
Well,
weeks.
no, I can't see it either, but when she said it was for our garbage cans, I kind of had an idea of what it was, so.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it basically holds 2 regular sized garbage cans.
Yep, gotcha.
I have no issue with it. I'm not sure what the rest of the board feels.
I'm with you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm fine with it.
I'm good.
All right. Does anyone else wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Sullivan, again, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, again, I'll move to grant the application.
Again, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Next application number 038-21, William and Susan O'Halloran, permission to leave a patio on the side property line, not having the required setback of 4 feet. Residence A District, west side of Candy Avenue, number 54, 531.32 feet south of Montauk Highway, Sayville. Is there anyone here for the applicant? And I welcome Ms. McGrath.
Hey, man, how are you? Do we have anyone for the O'Hallorans?
They're here.
Sorry, guys. Can you hear
No
us?
problem. I can hear you now. Yep. How are you?
Good. William and Susan O'Halloran, 54 Candy Avenue, Sayville.
Great. How are you guys tonight?
Good.
Very good. Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. You have a small patio compared to the depth of your lot that's on the side property line?
Yes.
Correct. If you can see the way the property line is skewed and the way the house was built, I put the patio in the masonry patio myself, not realizing that code because I was worried about, I knew the code for the garage and how far it needed to be from the fence. So I'm a little close to my neighbor on the one side property.
All right. Deidre from planning, any objection for planning for that small part of the patio?
No objections.
All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application granted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Good night.
You too.
Next application number 039-21, Stephen Akizian, permission to leave air conditioning unit not having 4 feet behind the front line of the dwelling, residence AA District, east side of Locust Avenue, number 1407, 281.9 feet north of Union Street, Bohemia, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes, I'm here.
Very good.
Good evening, sir. Name and address for record.
Stephen Akizian, 1407 Locust Avenue, Bohemia, New York.
Right. It seems that unit's behind some sort of retaining wall.
It's a little flower bed, and I have like 8 pencil hollies in front of it.
Okay, so in Locust Avenue is a W line road.
It's a tiny little AC unit, Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman. I mean,
I'm fine with it. Listen, I'm trying to get Will a great way to write this one. That's all I'm trying to get. My expertise is just coming out tonight.
I think John's upset they aren't arborvitaes.
Oh my.
Don't say anything, sir. You next thing, that'll be a requirement. Stop.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Where we at? Let's go Mr. Wexler this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Have a great night, sir.
Thank you. You too.
Just for the benefit of all listening, numbers 40-21 has been adjourned, and I am grateful for that because there's a name on there I could never pronounce.
Wow.
Next application number 041-21, Joseph Antonucci and Danielle N. Ceramello, permission to erect a second-story addition, 8 feet by 37.3 feet irregular, and having a roofed over porch of 6 feet by 16.8 feet, leaving a side yard of 9.7 feet instead of the required 14 feet. Residence A District, west side of Gladstone Avenue, number 106, 2,672.6 feet north of Finley Place, West Islip. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes.
Hi, we are here, Joseph and Danielle Antonucci, and I believe Tom is here as well, who is our architect.
Yeah, he just got to unmute himself.
Yes, I did. Yep.
There you go. How are you?
Outstanding.
How you doing?
Good. Name and address for the record, please.
1165 Broadway Avenue, Holbrook, New York, 11741.
Great. State your case.
We're looking to build a second-story addition, minimum square footage. It was originally a cape, we believe, but we're extending over an existing first floor. So we're really not, we're encroaching into the side yard, but the first floor is already encroaching into the front yard. So we're just building over the top to square off the house.
All right. So the house is CO'd at 9.7 on the side yard now instead of 14.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wex, I'll take a motion.
Thank you. I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application
Okay.
granted. Have a great night.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Same to you. Next
Okay.
application number 042-21, James K. Wixo and Lori G. Gardini, permission to leave circular driveway having side yards of 2 feet instead of required 4 feet each, and leave a patio on the side property line not having required setback of 4 feet. Residence A District, north side of Aldrich Court, number 11, 275 feet east of Maple Avenue, Bay Shore. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
They're both here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you tonight?
Okay,
Name and address for the record, please.
James Wixo, 11 Aldrich Court, Bay Shore, New York, 11706.
Great. How are you tonight?
Okay,
I'm here too.
Oh, and your name, please?
Lori, it's under Lori Gardini, 11 Aldrich Court, Bay Shore, New York, 11706.
Great. You have circular driveways having side yards of 2 instead of 4. Seems de minimis. We hear them a lot. And patio on side property line not having setback of 4 feet. Seems to be just that patio on the paver's edge over there on the northwesterly side, or westerly side, actually southwesterly side. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Nicole, I'll take a motion.
Motion to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application
Thank you.
granted. Great night.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Next application number 043-21, Jeffrey D. and Valerie Mazarowski, permission to leave a detached garage 18.4 feet by 28.1 feet, having a side yard of 4.5 feet instead of the required 10 feet. Residence AAA District, east side of Foster Avenue, number 87, 297.19 feet south of Middle Road, Sayville. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes, we are here. I don't know if you can.
We can hear you, and now we can see
Hi,
you.
there you are. Hi.
And, nice dog.
Oh, sorry. She has to be with us always.
Uh,
Good evening. Name and
one of
address
those
for
in
the
my
record.
house too, man.
I'm Valerie Mazarowski. This is Jeff Mazarowski, and we reside at 87 Foster Avenue, Sayville, New York.
How are you guys tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. So you have a detached structure. It's my calculations is about 17 square feet over the size of having 4 feet.
Correct.
Yes.
How long has it been built?
Not even a year.
Here we go, yeah.
Did someone build it for you? Did you build it yourself?
We had a contractor. Yep.
Gotcha.
And it's actually built, the foundation is exactly to the plans, but we didn't know that the siding is where you guys measure, and I apparently have good taste in thick siding, so here we are.
Boy, we've heard that tale before, huh, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, yeah.
We've heard that before. We heard that before.
So your siding is 5 feet thick?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr.
my
Cole,
God.
you remember we did that one We did that one other time. It came out like, you know, a few square feet over just because of the siding.
Yeah, but I mean, 5.5 feet.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
What type of
looks
siding
great.
is it? What
Gold.
type of siding is it?
It's
Gold brick.
it's vinyl siding, but there's an inch of foam board on the back of it, so it pushes it out a little bit more to match the rest of our house.
But I'm just trying to follow up on Mr. Nicolia's. It pushes it out an inch, and let's say the siding is 3 inches. How do we get 5.5 feet?
I think we're splitting hairs here, by the way, because it is a little bit too big.
All right, so it was probably pushed it over the size.
Right, it's all for size.
It pushed it over the size more than likely.
that's what
it
it did. I
triggered
got it.
the
Now I got it.
higher setback.
Right.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Mr. and Mrs. Mazeroski, next time you got to say we had thick brick on the side of it.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for the brick.
Lesson learned.
Yup.
That and just compliment Mr. Wexler on how gracious he is. He likes it.
You're so gracious. Thank
Oh, there
you.
go. All right, I'm all in.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application?
It's only
Does the board have
17
any
feet,
questions?
guys.
Mr. Selvin, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the application.
Second.
Second. Oh, sorry. Second, me a
That's
second.
okay. I said whatever. You can second, Mr. Chairman.
I didn't
Aye.
mean to. Sorry about that.
Oh.
All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night, guys.
You
Thanks,
too.
too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Next application number 044-21, Joseph and Angelica Walsh, permission to install an in-ground pool leaving a side and rear yards of 10 feet instead of required 18 feet each, and a pool patio leaving a side and rear yard of 5 feet instead of the required 6 feet each. Residence AA 278 Cluster District, east side of Spiral Road, number 111, 920 feet, 3 feet south of Skylark Drive in Hotesville. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
He's here.
Mr. Walsh, you need to unmute yourself, please.
Hey, how are you tonight, sir? We still can't hear you.
Hello?
Hey,
I'm
How
sorry
are you?
about that.
No worries.
this name and address for the record, please.
Joseph Walsh, 111 Spiral Road, Holtzville, New York, 11742.
Right. So you're here tonight looking to put an in-ground pool in.
Yes.
You look, so 10 rear, 10 side instead of 18.
It
According
doesn't
to
look
your-
like it's actually a 10 rear. It looks like the surveyor measured the setback from the sun deck.
Yep. You're
Yeah,
right.
it's from the sun deck. It's actually not the pool, but it's 10. It's going to be 10 feet from the sun deck, which he said qualifies for the pool.
Yeah. How big is the sun deck?
In the proposed, there is 8 foot.
8 foot long or 8
8
foot
by
deep?
10.
8 feet. So it's going to be 18 to the actual pool, but on the side,
There you go. Okay, that's what we needed to know. It's 18 to the pool. Thank you.
But why wouldn't, just from my curiosity, why wouldn't they say 18 foot to the pool, 8 foot to the sun deck? That's
Well, because the sun deck is the structure, and that's the way the building department does it. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but you know,
It's not
they're
right.
consistent about it.
At least we have that.
Small victories, right, Mr. Nicole? Small victories.
Exactly.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application?
I do. So
I heard
I just
someone
wanted
say I
to
do.
push it to the right because I want to leave some yard and turf. for
Mr.
my-
Walsh, Mr. Walsh,
Mr. Walsh,
you're about a second away from a grant. Do you really want to
Yeah,
speak?
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do not snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
Oh,
Or I think
man.
I got that wrong.
Right. Reverse
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Messina, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we grant the application.
All right,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, application granted. Have a good night.
Next application number 045-21, Andrew W. and Ronnie B. Shunzite, excuse me. Permission to leave an 8-foot fence with a 4-foot screen atop exceeding permitted height of 6 feet. Residence BAA District, west side of Gale Avenue, number 53, 350.82 feet south of Neptune Walk, Seaview. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes, Jamie Winkler, Winkler Real Estate Expediting. I represent the clients, the Shonsites. They are asking to be able to leave 2 of their fences on the north and south side of their property that are in excess height of the BAA zone. And the reason why these fences are requested to remain is because the neighbors on the north and south of them can see right into their hot tub when they are in their backyard. And the reason for the excess fence height is just for privacy reasons, nothing else. And the neighbors to the north and south have sent letters in to the board stating that they approve this application.
Do we have any pictures of this screen, the 4-foot screen atop?
Yes,
There you
yes,
go.
I sent pictures in, yes.
Is it a 4-foot fence with a 4-foot screen?
No, it's the 6-foot fence with a 4-foot screen on top.
So how do we get to
So it's
permission to leave 8 feet?
It's 10 feet high, right, exactly.
It's
And we don't know.
the south side is an 8-foot fence, so 2 feet of the fence higher than allowed, plus a 4-foot screen on top.
So it's a 12-foot tall fence.
12 foot on the south side and 8 foot on the north side.
Wow.
Call
Ms.
could have been a little
Winkler.
bit better.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Ms.
I'm-
Winkler,
Yes,
we all know that privacy is a premium in Seaview. The homes are rather close. How do we not start the precedent of granting everybody this variance? I think it sets up something that's going to be problematic because we handle a lot of beach cases and they're all tightly packed. And I'm just afraid that we will now set the precedent of things looking like that.
And privacy is always the issue.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
that's
it's not
correct.
terribly attractive looking. It's 12 feet high.
I understand, but if the neighbor that it abuts is not against it, does that factor into it at all?
Well, the problem with that is that neighbor, but what happens when the next neighbor says, we want to do the same thing, and it just goes on? How do we stop it?
I understand. You could possibly grant it for a 2 or 3 year period and then bring it back for review as a suggestion, if that's
We
ever
can't
done.
do that. We don't have the authority to do that.
Okay, I
But it's a
understand.
good suggestion.
Okay.
I agree with Mr. Wexler on this one. It's a bit of a stretch for us, I think.
I mean, you could try life of the fence, but I don't think that's going to work.
No.
No.
How about a compromise then that we allow an 8-foot fence instead of the 12-foot fence?
Do you have any precedent for that compromise?
Well, again, I have a house myself in Fire Island, and I will tell you almost everybody has 8-foot fences. I don't think
Careful,
that.
don't admit to any crimes, Ms.
No,
Winkler.
not me, never me, not me. But I
This is-
do, again, I don't
this
have
is-
precedents because a lot of people don't bother trying to
Right,
make.
they
it
don't
legal.
bother doing it legally,
permits.
right?
That's the reality.
Fire Island has always been a bit of the Wild West when it comes to.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. But I understand their concern. I mean, they said their neighbors literally look down on them when they're in their hot tub.
Well, they can plant
Literally or
something
figuratively, or both?
that's- both.
Probably.
They could plant something 10 feet high, 12 feet high.
True.
Yeah. Bamboo.
No.
No.
Don't ever say that.
Mr. Wexler, I'm surprised.
That's a joke from a former board member.
Oh, okay.
Oh, none of you guys were on the board with.
I was. I remember the bamboo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I was presenting at that time, so I think I
that's
know
right.
who you're talking about.
I was probably
Anyway.
defending at that time.
Right.
Deirdre from planning, do you have any anything in the area for fences higher than 6 feet?
No, there's no precedent for any higher fences.
Right.
All right.
I think we're ready, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Wex, I'll take a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ungraciously, I'm going to have to make an application or a motion to deny the application.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a good day, Madam Speaker.
Next application number 046-21, Brian D. Bossert, permission to erect a one-story addition, 18.9 feet by 28.3 feet, leaving a side yard of 4.8 feet instead of the required 14 feet. Residence B District, east side of Brooklyn Boulevard, number 1411, 255 feet south of Oswego Drive, Bayshore, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
I see her.
Unmute.
There you go.
There we go. Hi.
Good evening. How are you?
Good.
Name and address for the record, please.
Brian Bossert, 1411 Brooklyn Boulevard, Bayshore, New York.
Right. So you're looking for permission for an extension. Sorry, you had a 4.8 instead of required 14. That's pretty extreme. Is someone guided you to it seems, I believe you must have some sort of expediter that's usually working with you. I see a note on the file, or is that not the case?
Yeah, I have an expediter, Carolyn. She's working with me. So pretty much we're looking to add the extension. We just had a daughter 2 months ago. So we're looking to add another bedroom and some living space to the house.
How close is the house now?
So the house right now is we're just looking to square off the house with
There you
what's
go.
currently
I
there.
thought so. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, I got you. So the house holds 4.8 as it is.
This is actually going to be a little bit slightly better, not maybe half a foot or something. It looks like, right, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah,
Just a tiny bit better.
kind of a bit better than where it is now.
Yeah.
I apologize, Mr. Bossett. I didn't flip to the second
Well,
page.
it's still an outrageous request, Mr. Chairman. But
What happened to the graciousness?
but that's what's going to save you. That's what's saving you.
That goes out the window by half the agenda.
Nah. That's what might save you, sir. That's the boss.
And just for the record, everyone, we have 2 letters of support signed and notarized, one from the neighbor to the north, the most impacted neighbor, and one from the neighbor to the south.
Thank you, Ms.
All right. And Deirdre, I'm assuming planning has no objection, being that the house holds 4 and change already?
No objections. There's precedent in the area actually for 4.8, 4.9, and 5.
There you go. It's your lucky day. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Nicole, I'll take a motion.
Motion to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Mr.
grant the
Bossert, the chairman's wrong. Your lucky day was when your daughter was born.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck is right.
I have 2. Good luck.
Mr. Wexler and I can tell you about how that goes.
Yeah. Hey, this is an hour and 5, a 1 hour.
I think I hold the record.
That's a record.
I think you hold the record. Wow.
That is definitely a record.
All right, Mr. Chairman, you've thrown down. Wait till the next time you're absent.
Everybody denied.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the hearing unless Ms.
Oh,
Pissarro.
no, we have only one application to
Second.
do then.
Okay, please.
It
I
is.
thought Mr. Messina was quick last week. He was doing it like he was double parked, but
Oh, yeah, but remember we had the
Then again,
technology
this was a
problems
very
in the
short
beginning.
agenda.
Well, it wasn't, but we had
Well,
technology.
we actually had
problems
20
last week.
items that we went through.
Really? It's only 3 pages.
So the calls of the meeting weren't long.
Still, take nothing from the chairman. A magnificent job, sir.
Yeah, good job, John. I didn't mean to denigrate your accomplishment.
he's a captain. He's a captain now.
I know.
After-
We've had that issue.
He's a general now. He's a general.
After missing last week, he's got his captain's license now.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
Wow, you passed.
Congratulations.
Well, no, I didn't pass all of them yet. I only passed one of them. I have 3 more to go.
Did you pass rules of the road?
I didn't pass through the road yet. I passed charting.
What is it? What is it required? 100% now, right?
No,
Or is it
it's 90%. It's 5. I get 5 wrong out of 50. So.
Mr. Sarah, are we ready?
We're ready. We have 10 accessory apartments to renew for a period of 3 years.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we have 1 application to read in from the reserve list. That is the application number 605-20, Latoya Victoria Stevens. Did everybody get their sheet in their email? It's in Sado. Okay, so I'll read it. In accordance with the proposed written decision dated January 19, 2021, the application is denied as submitted as to the detached garage, however, granted permission to leave the garage having a setback of no less than 10 feet behind the front line of the dwelling. And the remainder of the application was granted on motion of
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, everyone, so we're off next week.
I motion to adjourn.
Motion.
And I just